Hey guys, it's Will from Tested. I'm in my backyard in Pacifica, California, and today I'm going to roast coffee for the first time. I've never done this before. I've got a couple of bags of raw beans. They're green and don't look at all like the coffee you kind of have come to expect. And we're going to turn them into roasted coffee with this guy. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a thermometer to my roaster. The thermometer lets us know where the temperature is inside the pan, so it lets me know when to add the coffee, how it's progressing, whether it's getting too hot or staying the right temperature, too cool, whatever. And the way I'm going to do that is by drilling a hole in the top of the roaster. So let's get started. So I'm going to drill about halfway between the center of the pot and the edge. I want to get the thermometer far enough down that it can go in, far enough that the handle will rotate above it. I'm using a Whirly Pop Sweet and Easy just because I'm going to be cooking on an induction burner because I wanted to do this outside where there's not too much smoke, or where the smoke won't ruin my kitchen basically. And this particular model of roaster works on induction cooktops, while the traditional aluminum Whirly Pop, the one with the kind of hand crank on the side, does not. So here we go. Not big enough. So I've upgraded from a 9/64 bit to a 5/32 bit. It's a little tiny bit bigger. Oh, that might actually be perfect. Look. So that's going to dangle down here. It's going to give me the temperature inside the roaster. It's not going to get too far into the beans. And I think we'll probably be okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is weigh my coffee. I got my coffee from Sweet Maria's, which is, I think, at sweetmarias.com. They're based in Oakland. They sell a lot of unroasted coffee. I guess you call it raw coffee or green beans. I don't know exactly what you call it. But anyway, it's different. It smells different. It doesn't even really smell like coffee. It smells kind of grassy, if for lack of a better term. I'm going to do about 8 ounces. Using a Whirly Pop type roaster, you can do more coffee if you want. But I'm going to try to ruin the least possible because it's a little tricky, and I figure that there's a pretty real chance that I'll destroy something on this first pass. So 8 ounces raw coffee. If you're doing it by volume, you want to do a little bit more. And the nice thing about Sweet Maria's is they have great instructions on their website. So, I'm following their instructions. So if this doesn't work, it's all them. Once the coffee's done roasting, once it reaches the roast that you want, then you need to have all the stuff ready to go. So I have a metal colander here, and some oven mitts, and a wooden spoon, and some cookie sheets, which will help me cool off the coffee much quicker than if I just left it in the roaster where it's hot and keeps cooking. I want to make sure you do not use your wife's good oven mitts. These are junky old mitts that we've had for a long time. I use them to flip the turkey by hand at Thanksgiving, so they're pretty gross. Perfect for making coffee. Basically, I'm warming up the pan now. It's only going to work when the metal pan's in contact with the surface because of the type of heater it is. Like I said before, you can use any kind of heater if you have like even a burner on the side of your grill. As long as it'll get this pot to about 400 degrees, that's really all you need. So the other question is, why would you roast your own coffee? Because this seems like a big pain in the ass. The nice thing is you can do quite a bit at a time. And the reason you roast your own coffee is you get a much kind of fresher, better flavor, and the nuances are more available if you control the roast and the time from when you roast to when you drink. We're right at 300 degrees right now, so I don't know what E2 means. So what's happened is this induction cooker that we're using doesn't like heating empty cookware, which is not necessarily unusual. It's kind of a common thing. I have never used induction surfaces before, so we went to the internet and looked at the instructions, and they said not to heat empty cookware. So what I'm doing is putting a great big cast iron skillet underneath the popper to kind of help distribute heat a little more evenly and give the induction cooker a little more stuff to work on, and we'll see how that goes. We migrated because the induction cooktop was, kind of a disaster. Basically, I'm on my grill here. It's a beat-up old charbroil, and there's a burner on the sides. We're going to see if that gets us the heat that we need. We're way below the temperature we're supposed to be, so this batch might be a wash, but we can always do another one in a minute. Okay, so we're starting to see some smoke out. I'm going to open it up and take a peek. You want to kind of minimize doing this because you don't want the temperature to go down too much. But for the interest of science, we're going to take a look now. Let's see what it looks like. We're waiting for the first crack, which is what happens when the beans start to crack and carbon dioxide escapes. So we're getting close, it looks like, according to what the pictures I've seen on the internet look like. I'm going to close it up now and keep stirring. Going to take a peek. Starting to look like coffee. Oh, it's starting to crack. It almost sounds like popcorn. It's kind of weird. I'm making coffee in a popcorn maker and it sounds like popcorn when it cracks. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is wait for the color to get even after the crack finishes. So when it stops doing the popping, I'll open it up, take a look, and you want it to go for another 30 or 40 seconds, I think, until the color is nice and even and there's no kind of splotchiness on the beans. Oh wow, that is a lot of smoke. So it's all an even color. There's some dark and some light. I'm going to keep stirring. I'm going to give it another 30 or 40 seconds and I'm going to dump it out because I don't want to overcook it. We don't want any French roast here. Everybody hates the French, right? Is that still a thing? Okay, so dumping. Whoa, look at all the chaff. What we're doing is we're losing a lot of the chaff. It's all flowing out the bottom, and it's just the kind of husks of from the outsides of the beans. Okay. So I'm going to dump this out. There's a bunch of beans on the ground, so I got to pick those up because, of course, you don't want your dog eating coffee beans. That's really bad for them. We'll let these cool out. So if you look, I think I probably mucked this up pretty badly because, look, there's a bunch of really dark beans and there's a bunch of really light beans. And they just don't look right exactly. There's kind of an unpleasant burning smell. Maybe they needed to go longer. So we're going to try a second batch. I've heated up. We're at like 375 now, so as soon as it hits 400, I'm going to dump it. I might actually do it a little bit early because I kind of think that because the thermometer is a little bit off the bottom, maybe it's not registering the real temperatures. So, well, keep your fingers crossed. Let's see how this goes. The bad thing about doing this on the grill is that I don't have a whole lot of heat to throw out at this thing. So I've dropped a little bit lower than I think I'd like to ideally, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So we're about 4 minutes into the roast. I'm going to open it up again. Our thermometer shows a little bit low, but like I said, I don't really trust the thermometer that we have in here right now. So let's take a look and see what it looks like. Oh, we're starting to get light brown, uneven colors. Looking good. A little smoky. Okay, we're about 6:45. I'm going to take a look. Oh, it's looking pretty good this time. Lots of smoke. Still cracking. I'm going to let it go for a minute longer. Okay, everything looks pretty good. I'm going to dump it. Okay, so I'm spreading it out, getting it as cool as I can, as quickly as I can to stop the roast, per our previous conversation. So we're done. We've roasted 2 batches. This is the second batch. This is the first batch. I think the first batch may have actually turned out better despite the problems we had with the heater. It just looks more evenly roasted and there's fewer kind of dark black, kind of burnt-y looking kernels or beans in there. And I'm going to try some. So this is the second batch. Tastes like coffee. It's a little burnt flavor, but it's not bad. It tastes like nice coffee. This is the first batch. Tastes a little bit less burnt. I think I might have done better on the first batch than the second batch. But regardless, we'll try both in a little bit and let you guys know how we did. Okay, so it's been a few days. I've tested it out. It's not exactly what I was hoping for, but it's pretty good for a first try. We're going to get a couple of other whiskey people in here to give it the old Taster's Challenge and see if they can tell that I've swapped their normal coffee with the stuff that I brewed myself.
I deem this coffee drinkable.
Tastes like a little undercooked to me, honestly.
Yes. He had to take off his glasses. It was steaming so hard.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Much better than McDonald's.
We're better than McD's. Yeah.
It's just too light for my taste. I need something bolder.
I can burn it some more if you want.
That's great. It's super smooth. It is. That's really good. In fact, I don't drink black coffee, but I would start drinking
You would drink this black?
It's nuttier,
Okay.
flavorful, and it smells good.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, like you.
Okay, so that is my first home roasting experience. Some people really liked it, some people not so much. I'm kind of in between. It was okay, but I think that there's definitely some room for improvement with some refinements in technology. And I think I'm going to change the roaster. The twisty top roaster seemed like a good idea when I was ordering, but in practice it meant that I couldn't use the thermometer I wanted to use because the arm that you use to rotate would have blocked the thermometer. I also think that the induction cooker, while a good idea for outside, doesn't work very well in practice, so I'll be using either a camp stove or a big hot plate or something like that for my home roasting adventures in the future. If you guys want to know more about roasting, we'll post in the comments, we'll talk about it, and we'll get some more people in, maybe some experts from the Bay Area. And that does it for today. Test I'm Will. Thanks for watching. So, Mr. Chan, you ready to, what is that you're eating? Destroying your palate with?
I have no idea.
You just found that later on in the office and started putting it
They're
in your
Japanese
mouth?
chips, and they're delicious.
What do they taste like?
Japan.